Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's close to a lot of people's hearts: relationships. Let's face it, we've all encountered someone who just seems a little emotionally unavailable. They might be charming, funny, even successful, but something just feels a little off. Now, I'm not a therapist, but I've definitely learned a thing or two about relationships over the years. And let me tell you, recognizing the signs of an emotionally broken man can save you a whole lot of heartache down the road. So, if you're ready to decode the male psyche and understand the red flags to watch out for, then grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's get started. Alright, first things first, an emotionally broken man will often shy away from deep, meaningful conversations. You know, the kind where you really open up and share your feelings? Yeah, that's gonna make him squirm. He might change the subject, crack a joke, or just completely shut down. It's not that he doesn't care about you, it's that he's terrified of being vulnerable. Think of it like this. Opening up emotionally is like walking a tightrope for him. One wrong step and he feels like he'll come crashing down. He might have been hurt before, maybe even had his heart broken, and now he's built up these walls to protect himself. But the thing is, those walls are also keeping everyone else out, including you. And let me tell you, trying to break down those walls can be exhausting. It's like trying to have a conversation with a brick wall. You can talk and talk, but you're not getting anything back. So, if you find yourself with a guy who's constantly deflecting emotional intimacy, it might be a sign that he's got some inner healing to do. And honestly, that's his journey, not yours. Trust, it's the foundation of any strong relationship, right? Well, an emotionally broken man often has a hard time with trust. This can manifest in a few different ways. He might be overly suspicious, questioning your every move. Or he might be overly cautious, afraid to let you in or fully commit. Now, it's important to remember that everyone has a past, and some people have been through more than others. Maybe he's been betrayed before, cheated on, or lied to. And that's understandable. Those experiences can leave a mark. But here's the thing, if he's not willing to work through those trust issues, they're going to keep popping up in your relationship like a game of whack-a-mole. One minute things are good, the next minute he's convinced you're talking to another guy or planning your escape route. It's exhausting, right? And honestly, it's not fair to you. You deserve to be in a relationship with someone who trusts you, who believes in you, and who's not constantly looking for reasons to doubt you. Okay, buckle up for this one because we're talking about emotional roller coasters. One minute he's up, the next minute he's down, and you're left feeling like you need a motion sickness bag. Emotionally broken men often struggle with regulating their emotions. It's like they're on a hair trigger, and the slightest thing can set them off. One minute he's all lovey-dovey, showering you with affection, and the next minute he's withdrawn, distant, and you're wondering what you did wrong. And let me tell you, you probably didn't do anything wrong. These mood swings are often a reflection of their own internal struggles, their own unresolved pain. It's like they're carrying around this heavy backpack of emotions, and sometimes it just spills over. Now, I'm all for expressing your emotions, but there's a healthy way to do it. And constantly subjecting your partner to these extreme highs and lows, that's not healthy, it's draining. Chapter 4. You know that friend who always cancels plans at the last minute? Or that family member who always has an excuse for why they can't make it to the reunion? Well, an emotionally broken man takes isolating himself to a whole new level. He might withdraw from social situations, avoid spending time with friends and family, and even push you away. It's like he's retreating into his own little world where he doesn't have to face anyone or deal with his emotions. And look, I get it, sometimes we all need a little alone time to recharge. But when it becomes a pattern, when he's constantly choosing isolation over connection, that's a red flag. It might be because he's afraid of being judged, afraid of people seeing through his facade of having it all together. Or it might be that he simply doesn't know how to connect with others in a healthy way. Whatever the reason, isolation is a major sign that he's struggling emotionally. Chapter 5. He has low self-esteem. Deep down, everyone wants to feel good about themselves, right? But an emotionally broken man often carries around this heavy baggage of low self-esteem. He might constantly doubt himself, criticize himself, and seek validation from others. It's like he's looking for someone, anyone, to tell him he's good enough, he's worthy, he's lovable. This can manifest in a few different ways. He might be overly sensitive to criticism, even if it's constructive. Or he might be overly self-deprecating, putting himself down before anyone else has the chance. And here's the thing. Low self-esteem is like a black hole. It can suck the joy out of everything, including your relationship. You might find yourself constantly trying to build him up, to reassure him, to convince him of his worth. And while that's admirable, it can also be incredibly draining. Chapter 6. He struggles with addiction. Now, this is a tough one, but it's important to talk about. Addiction can take many forms, from substances like drugs and alcohol to behaviors like gambling, video games, or even work. For an emotionally broken man, addiction can be a way to numb the pain, to escape from reality, to avoid dealing with those difficult emotions. Think of it like this: addiction is like a band-aid on a bullet wound. It might provide temporary relief, but it's not addressing the root cause of the problem. You might notice that he relies on his addiction to cope with stress, to relax, or even to have fun. And when he's not able to engage in his addiction, he becomes irritable, restless, and even withdrawn. It's important to remember that addiction is a disease and it requires professional help to overcome. Chapter 7. He has unresolved trauma. Trauma is a heavy word, and it can encompass a wide range of experiences. It could be something he experienced in childhood, a traumatic event like an accident or a natural disaster, or even the emotional scars left by a previous relationship. Whatever the source, unresolved trauma can manifest in a variety of ways. He might have flashbacks, nightmares, or experience intense anxiety or fear in certain situations. Emotionally, he might struggle with intimacy, trust, and emotional regulation. He might also engage in self-destructive behaviors as a way to cope with the pain. The important thing to remember is that healing from trauma takes time, and it often requires professional help. So there you have it, 7 signs that you might be dealing with an emotionally broken man. Recognizing these signs is the first step in protecting yourself and setting healthy boundaries. Remember, you can't fix him, and it's not your responsibility to do so. However, you can offer support and encouragement if he's willing to seek professional help. Ultimately, you deserve to be in a relationship with someone who is emotionally available, trustworthy, and capable of building a healthy and fulfilling partnership.